Let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at something I think we all struggle with, the modern curse of overanalyzing literally everything. We live in a hyper-connected world that practically demands we dissect, decode, and extract some deep meaning from every single experience we have. I mean, honestly, ask yourself, when was the last time you let yourself just be? Just existing in a moment without mentally picking it apart. It is incredibly tough, right? Most of us are walking around feeling like our energy is scattered across 100 different mental browser tabs. We just can't seem to experience the present because, well, we're totally addicted to overthinking it. But what we're unpacking today is a really powerful pushback against that exact addiction. We're going to trace this fascinating golden thread connecting some wildly different disciplines. I'm talking everything from ancient spiritual practices to a radical new 2025 movement in contemporary art criticism, and across the board, they've all landed on the exact same truth. Genuine connection doesn't come from endless interpretation. It comes from pure, focused presence. So to map out our journey today, we're covering 5 key areas: the wandering mind, focusing energy, elevating intention, custodial criticism, and finally, pure presence. Starting off with Section 1, the wandering mind. So the sources define our consciousness as this amazing ability within us to feel and experience things, like noticing heat or cold or physical pain. But here's the kicker. It naturally just wanders all over the place. Our mental energy is constantly getting distorted, scattered across a dozen different passing thoughts and physical tasks all at once. And because our energy is so diffused, achieving a state of true still focus is, well, it's just incredibly difficult for us. Which brings us to Section 2, focusing energy. To wrangle that relentlessly scattered mind, we can look at a technique that dates back over 500 years, emphasized by the Sikh gurus. It's known as Simran. Now, Simran isn't just your run-of-the-mill generic mindfulness. It's a highly specific meditation practice, entirely focused on remembering the divine. To essentially settle down that wandering consciousness, it's actually designed to mentally and physically redirect all that energy we normally waste on a million other little tasks. And the mechanics of this are brilliant. When chanting the Vaheguru mantra, you're supposed to put exactly 25% emphasis on each syllable. This scientifically aligns with 4 specific physical focal points in your body. Va resonates right in the throat. He drops down below the throat, focusing in the heart. Gu moves up to the palate, and Ru concentrates right at the forehead. So by actively engaging both the physical body and the voice, that scattered, distorted energy is forced to become laser-focused. And the ultimate objective here is really profound. As that wandering mind finally settles, the practitioner experiences this immense joy, which essentially becomes an inner powerhouse against everyday stress and anxiety. But here is the fascinating part. Eventually, the goal is to outgrow the technique itself. The mechanics? They're just training wheels. The true destination is to move entirely past the chanting and just exist, purely present in love and surrender. Moving on to Section 3, elevating intention. Now, this pursuit of pure, unscattered focus perfectly mirrors other ancient traditions too. Take the Jewish concept of kavanah, for example, which is all about improving focus and elevating your purest intentions during prayer. Whether we're looking at Simran or kavanah, the sources make it crystal clear. Battling the wandering mind and striving to just be present with pure intention is a truly universal human hurdle. And that perfectly sets up Section 4, custodial criticism. Okay, we're making a massive pivot now. We're stepping out of the spiritual realm and straight into the secular, sometimes chaotic world of contemporary art. Welcome to the Museum of One. This is an independent research institute that, in 2025, birthed an absolutely profound aesthetic philosophy. And essentially, it asks us to treat our encounters with a piece of art the exact same way we treat spiritual focus, with deep restraint and absolute presence. They call this movement Post-Interpretive Criticism, or PIC for short. And this isn't just a trendy new stylistic thing. It's a total doctrinal shift. It demands a completely new contract between the viewer and the artwork. Instead of the critic acting as this authoritative interpreter whose job is to aggressively extract meaning, PIC says, no, the critic must act as a witness and a custodian. It literally asks us to quiet the critic's ego, which is really just that exact same wandering, analyzing mind we were just talking about, and simply stand beside the work. To put this in perspective, look at the dominant paradigm of the last few decades, postmodernism. Postmodernism totally exploded the frame. It drowned us in context and endless, exhausting interpretation. We violently dissected art to extract its meaning, to the point where the critic was basically speaking louder than the artwork itself. Pick offers the exact opposite approach. It demands restraint, witnessing, and honoring the artwork's sheer presence without feeling the need to conquer it. A massive foundational pillar of this whole movement is something called absential aesthetics. This is the incredibly beautiful theory that absence in a work of art is not a void, it's a vessel. It argues that silence is actually fidelity to the unsayable. In plain English, by withholding our clever little interpretations and refusing to overanalyze, we are actively protecting a deeper truth, a truth that the artwork was never actually meant to disclose in the first place. To actually achieve this, Pick relies on 5 treatises. First is restraint, simply refusing to speak prematurely. Second is witnessing, offering your presence without trying to seize the art. Third is moral proximity, standing close to the artwork, especially art born of trauma, without exploiting it for a hot take. Fourth is viewer as evidence, recognizing that the true meaning is simply the reaction that's left inside of you. And fifth is the rejection of performance, replacing the critic's flashy intellectual performance with sincere, quiet testimony. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Pure Presence. This is really the culmination of that golden thread we've been following. Listen to this quote straight from the Pick Manifesto. We do not interpret what was meant to remain whole in silence. We witness, we endure, we remain. I mean, wow. It brilliantly illustrates the ultimate convergence here. Ego collapse, the act of getting out of your own way and totally silencing the need to analyze, is the exact same end goal, whether you're a spiritual seeker chanting a mantra or an art critic standing quietly in a gallery. Because ultimately, the true event isn't the physical painting on the wall, and it certainly isn't the clever words you use to describe it. It's the totally unrepeatable encounter between you and the work. The movement actually calls this the haunt mark. It's that residue or that ghost left inside the viewer once the ego finally steps back and just allows the raw experience to happen. So, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Whether you're seeking spiritual clarity, looking at a beautiful painting, or honestly just going about your Tuesday, the mechanics are exactly the same. When was the last time you let yourself just look at something or someone without trying to figure it all out? I challenge you today. Try to silence that wandering mind, step back from the exhausting need to interpret everything, and just embrace the sheer, unadulterated power of simply being present.